Darian Fenton's amendment, sir.
I call Darian Fenton.
Very much, Mr Chair. I'm happy to have an opportunity to talk to my supplementary order papers, but it's really important to remember where this bill came, in Part 1 in particular. It actually started with a cabbage boat. It started with a cabbage boat, when it started as a cover-up by this government, as a dog whistle by this government, when John Banks' donations from kin.com were in the news and it was causing embarrassment. And I am talking about boats, Mr Speaker, in Part 1. But it is important, it's very important to know, and also talking about mass arrivals, it would be very interesting to know...
The Left Party will never again be a mass arrival.
No, well that's true, and it would be interesting to know if a cabbage boat could actually contain enough cabbages to be considered a mass arrival under Part 1 of this bill. And it would be interesting to hear from the Minister on his view. Although, having mentioned the Minister, I do want to say I was very disappointed in his comments. I thought he was actually not a Minister at the time when this bill was going through the process of the Select Committee. So he was there and heard from 33 submitters who opposed this bill. Oh, he wasn't there. I do apologise, Minister. But anyway, it's important for that member, for the Minister to know and be reminded actually that 33 submitters opposed this bill, and are people that are very well qualified to oppose this bill, and particularly the definition of mass arrivals and the detention. But I'd like to ask the Minister and the Chair what his objection is, and this is a genuine question, Minister, about my Supplementary Order 246, which would actually require, where detention is deemed necessary, all persons deprived of their liberty would be treated with humanity and with respect for the inherent dignity of the person. Now that's actually comes from the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and Article 25(5) of the Bill of Rights Act, so it's actually putting in the legislation some comfort for that if this bill passes and people actually make it to New Zealand. There's a lot of ifs there, may I say, but if they did and the government determined that detention was necessary, what is wrong with treating people with humanity and with respect? What is wrong with that? And why I really genuinely like to hear from the Minister about why there is a problem with that, and it certainly would give some comfort to many of the people that are opposed to this bill, including the members on this side of the House. I also want to just mention again my Supplementary Order Paper 244, which is saying that where it is strictly necessary, where it isn't absolutely, where there is a mass warrant for detention and it's adopted as a last resort, asylum seekers are housed in the Māori Refugee Resettlement Centre. Now, the Minister mentioned before the government's put some money into rebuilding the Māori Refugee Centre, although I will mention it's a public-private partnership, and it will be interesting to know if Serco is going to be part of that, and exactly how that's going to be. Somebody's going to be making money out of the fact that out of refugees that arrive on our shores under the United Nations Convention that we've signed up to, where we've agreed that 750 refugees can come to New Zealand, and they actually go there to be treated, to be cared for in their first 6 weeks. And may I say, while I have the opportunity, Mr Chair, they do an excellent job at the Māori Resettlement Centre, and anyone, and particularly the member, Mr Hayes, that talked about, what was it? Economic opportunist. I really, really strongly recommend anybody in the National Party that believes that go to the Māori Resettlement Centre and meet the children that have been in camps for years and years, born in camps, babies, some of them, meet the people that have never been to school, meet the people that have had to fight over food, meet the people that have been waiting for years and years and years. Now, they are refugees, but they're also asylum seekers, and I want to be very clear that when we're talking about asylum seekers, we are not talking about economic refugees. We are not talking about queue jumpers. We are talking about people who have the right to seek asylum. That is a major human right. People have the right to seek asylum in any country, and this bill completely undermines that right and treats them as criminals before they even get off the boat, and that is outrageous, and it was designed as a cover-up. It's designed as a cover-up with all the scandals.
Dr. Cam Calder. Dr. Cam.